Have the kids in your dollhouse been asking for a dollhouse to play with? Stay tuned and I'll show you how to make this one. It's really simple and I think the kids will love it. Alright, my goal here was to use up some scrap wood that I had sitting here. So for the chimney, this is just a piece of 1/4 inch square basswood. I measured down about 3/4 of an inch from the end and I cut a 45-degree angle to make the chimney. The back I cut from 1/16 inch by 3 inch basswood. And it's 2 3/4 of an inch tall, and then I drew a line 2 inches up and I cut the roof point. These are just two 45-degree angles and they'll meet in the middle, and that forms our peak. From one of those scraps that I cut off, I cut this little tiny peak, and that's just eyeball a small piece. That's just going to fill in the front of your roof to make it look better. Then I had some 1 inch by 1/16 inch basswood, and from that I cut the rest of our pieces. I cut 4 pieces that are the same width as my back is wide, and then I just cut off just about a 1/16 of an inch from the width, just so they'll fit back in the walls. I cut 2 side walls, and these are 2 inches long, and they're going to go there. And then I cut 2 roof pieces. One is about, the first one was about 1 1/4 inches, and the next one I just kind of eyeballed about a 1/16 of an inch longer so that they will come out to be about the same length when they're glued on. That's our roof. So let's get started gluing. Alright, so we're going to start gluing. We'll start by gluing our 2 of our floor pieces together to make the bottom floor, because I want it to be thicker. And then we're going to have to clamp that. So spread some glue out, and you want to spread a fairly thin bit of glue. And this is my Fast Grab tacky that I almost always use. You can tell my bottle's getting empty because it's all squished. We're going to put a pretty even but thin coat, because we want these to fit together pretty flat. Then on our second side, we'll put just a few drops of our Zap-A-Gap super glue, because this will allow it to hold really fast. Squish that together. And really squeeze the heck out of it and get them lined up so that they are as close to being lined up as possible. Now let's do our sides. Put the sides of our house on. So these are going to go along the side with the back sitting between them. So try not to get too much glue on the front. And run our glue. I have glue all over my fingers. Now once again, we want to run just a tiny couple of drops, little tiny line of Zap-A-Gap right there. Now I'm working on a tile so that when the glue dries, I can pop this off. Get your Zap-A-Gap right on that edge. Line up your bottom so that your bottom is flat and your back is flat. Now take those 2 pieces that you glued together, and if one edge is together better, that can be your front edge on the long sides. glue on the ends. I'm all thumbs today, I think. See, this side didn't line up quite as good as the other side, so that's my back now. Now run some glue, some more Zap-A-Gap, just at the very, very bottom of that. Line this up, pulling our edges in. Making sure our floor lines up with the bottoms of our sides. And I'm just gonna kind of hold that for a second till the Zap-A-Gap takes hold. Now we'll take one other piece. So I'm gonna have to tape this. So as soon as I get this piece glued in, I can tape that to help hold it. So that's my roof, one of my floors. And although the Zap-A-Gap holds it, it won't hold it all the way, so you're going to have to tape this. Now line this top floor up with that line that we drew earlier to cut. And now, take a piece of tape, and I just used the blue painter's tape. I'm going to wrap this around, pulling everything tight. And make sure your corners are square. And now this has to sit and dry. That glue has to all dry before we go to our next step. Alright, so we'll unwrap the tape. This is set up. Don't worry if your seams don't fill in. We're going to fill that in later. Give myself a little wiggle room there. So now we'll fit this in. We'll glue our other floor in. So that means I need a little more glue, some fresh glue in my container. And once again, I'll use my toothpick. And this one we're going to eyeball, kind of eyeball where we want it. So you can decide how much space you want to leave between the floors. If you want it to be right in the middle, that's cool. If you want to have more space on the bottom floor, that's fine too. And don't worry about, just get it straight. It's up to you how you want to put it in. And on this one, I'm actually just going to put my glue, Zap-A-Gap right on top. The only thing is you have to get the floor level, or it's going to look like your dollhouse is falling. Unless you're trying to do the after the earthquake look, which I suppose is a possibility. There. Alright, so that's on. Now we need to put on our roof. So this side we're going to line up like that. And I'm going to put a little bit of glue right here where it's going to touch. And a little bead of glue, let's see, this side. This side is the one I wanted on. And now, our other line of glue, pick it up. And this time we have an extra surface. We get to put glue here too. We push this up, we line up the top, and there we go. Now, to make this a little stronger, we're just going to put glue on the two sides of our little peak. And a little drop of glue there. And for this, I think I want my tweezers because I don't think I can get my fingers in there. And this piece is optional, it just makes it look a little more finished, is all. If you don't want to fiddle with this, don't worry about it, just leave it off. And now we're going to let our glue dry again, and then I'll come back and show you the next step. Our glue is pretty much dry, so what I'm going to do now is I will take this outside and I'm going to put a base coat of a flat white spray paint on it to seal the wood and get it ready for painting. So I'll be back when I get that done. Alright, so this has been now coated with just a white, flat white spray paint. I use that as a primer. It'll give a much better cover when you paint with your paint. Now this is just craft paint. I am going to paint most of it with the light ivory to make kind of an off-white colored house. And all I'll do, you know, we've all painted before. So I will continue painting, and when I get the rest of this painted, I'll be back. Alright, the off-white paint is pretty much dry now, so I'm going to paint this blue on the roof and also on the bottom on the base. And I will be painting the chimney with this barn red. So when I get that all done, I'll be back. Alright, so our paint is now completed and dried. And it's not perfect, but because of the way I want to use this dollhouse, that's fine. So now we need to glue on our chimney that we made. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to place it right about here. Not that you can see it there. I'm going to place it right in there. So what I will do is I put a little bit of my fast grab tacky on my tray, my tile, and I'm going to put a drop of glue with the Zap-A-Gap. And if your Zap-A-Gap doesn't run, it's because it's probably gotten dried on the tip, and you can wipe it off or pop it off with something. I've got some glue on here. I'm going to place it right over that. And when that dries, then I will spray the whole thing with a satin finish sealer, and I'll show you the completed project. Well, the clear finish on our project is all dry. It's all ready to go into our little dollhouse, so the kids in the dollhouse can have some dollhouse fun. I hope you enjoyed the project. If you make one, be sure and let me know. I'd love to see it. Be sure and check out my blog on my website to find out about our new Facebook page. And until next time, keep minning, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.